So my name is Angel Flores, and I will be reviewing the hidden curriculum. The hidden curriculum refers to the lessons that are taught informally and sometimes unintentionally in an educational system. We tend to believe that only what's in the curriculum, what's in our scope and sequence, is the only thing we teach our students. But in reality, there are many more things that students learn from being participants in the school system we work on. These include lessons that reflect attitudes, behaviors, and perspectives that students learn when they are in school, when they are in the classroom, in the cafeteria, when they participate in extracurricular activities that are sponsored by the school. There are many things that students learn socially that are not necessarily formally taught or directly taught through the scope and sequence or the adopted curriculum. So we have several examples of what the hidden curriculum is those lessons that we do not intend to teach, but we teach them. And I decided to talk about three. The first one is the seating arrangement. And when students seat in rows, we may indicate that, independent work is favored and that students should not collaborate to complete tasks. So by you organizing your desk this way, you're sending a message to students, hey, I need to work by myself. Not supposed to be talking to anybody next to me. And so this favors a, independent work perspective that everything's done independently. Another way we can change this is by grouping our desks in groups and systematically grouping students so that they are able to collaborate in classroom tasks, classroom assignments. Of course, we can get into the debate of whether or not we are providing authentic learning experiences to our students through collaborative learning, but that's a topic for a different video. We can also teach a quiet classroom. We encourage a quiet classroom. That may indicate that the teacher is the only one who has the authority to speak. So if you're constantly reminding students that they need to be quiet, that the classroom needs to be quiet at all times, you're basically teaching that they have no voice, they have no opinion in the classroom, that their learning only occurs when they are listening to the teacher. And the only thing that's valid is whatever the teacher says. And so that happens when you know, encourage a quiet classroom. Now, of course, there's need to be a structured way of approaching this because, of course, we cannot have a classroom that is super loud because then that's going to hinder learning. But we should provide opportunities for students to share their opinions, share their previous knowledge, share what they know, bring their funds of knowledge in the classroom and connect to what they know to the classroom. Invite students to participate, to question, to inquire of what it's taught. And sometimes we lack that. And so part of the hidden curriculum is that, hey, you are here to learn what we want to tell you, and that's it. Now, sometimes this also occurs because we live in a very standardized educational system where everything is based on certain standards that we need to meet, standardized testing. And of course, we want to make it a routine to just like hit it to what we need to do. And we don't provide these opportunities for our students. And that's why we, like the option of having a quiet classroom. Also removing students from instruction. So many times students who are in special education or 504, they receive support in the classroom, or even students who are dyslexic or they need to visit the reading specialist, or they're just being offered tutoring. We remove them from the classroom. That may indicate that the student cannot learn with other peers, that the learning that happens in the classroom is too high of a level that the student cannot do. And so you're basically teaching informally or not in a purposeful way the child that, you don't belong in this classroom, that the material that I'm teaching is too high for you and that you need something easier than your peers. And so one of the ways that we can do this is by co-teaching or allowing the instructor to come and sit with him during classroom instruction so that he can guide the student, but to receive the same instruction that everybody else is receiving. So those are 3 examples that I see currently in our classrooms that can be part of the hidden curriculum. Now, the big question is, how does this impact English language learners? Well, many students who are English language learners are immigrants and are not used to the way school is practiced. So many students come from different countries. They don't know the way the school system works here. And so it's kind of like a shock for them. And so part of the hidden curriculum is okay, if you're telling them not to speak, then you're basically teaching that, hey, our system, we don't allow, immigrants to speak. And so that may cause, a discouragement for English language learners. Students often miss out on collaboration opportunities for their lack of English proficiency. So sometimes we don't say that our students have a problem, or we make it seem like our students are getting the best education, English language learners. I'm referring to English language learners. But systematically, they're always the one who comes second. There's always something negative about English language learners, about them not performing with a correct English proficiency or the desired English proficiency. They always cut time from the curriculum to ensure that they receive instruction in both languages in a strict manner, because we are so focused for them to pass a test rather than for them to develop bilingualism or biliteracy. And so they miss out on this collaboration. Monolingual classrooms have the opportunity to question, and it's often said that monolingual students are often more talkative than our English language learners. Why? Because that's part of the hidden curriculum. It's not that monolinguals are more talkative, it's that we don't provide English language learners through systematic and purposeful instruction into languages opportunities for them to collaborate. And so that's part of the hidden curriculum too. Negative attitudes are often portrayed as society sometimes does not value the Spanish language and are regarded as academically behind. Once again, always there's something negative in general if you come to an educational system about the Spanish language. Oh, the Spanish language is so hard. We don't get research for the Spanish language, or our Spanish testers. Or in the case of my current campus, it's the thought of, let's make sure that we have the most English testers possible. We always portray that the Spanish language is lower than the English, and that sends a message to students that, you know what, I need to speak English because that's the norm. That's what I'm expected to do. I'm only learning Spanish because it's a way for me to understand some of the material that I'm learning. And so instead of having a more positive attitude towards bilingualism, towards learning 2 languages, we portray this attitude of, you know what, it's English that dominates. The Spanish is always comes in second, instead of, providing instruction in a more balanced way and promoting the benefits of bilingualism. English language learners tend to receive more remedial instruction, unfortunately, and therefore they are not provided with authentic learning experiences. And so it always comes to this, we provide